Basically factory in the front, with the exception of the seats and a couple of gauges, steering wheel, but really it's just, factory interior in the front. And that's really what I was going for originally when I was putting the car together, is, taking more off of it rather than just adding a bunch of stuff, and relying on just the kind of OEM wherever I could. So yeah, just stripped a bunch of stuff for weight reduction, like I said earlier, when I was really just getting into kind of just stripping it down, trying to get it as light as possible. And then seats are Cobra, harnesses are G-Force, PCI, seat brackets, Fastline shifter, K20 Mart shift knob.
What kind of roll bar?
Auto power, just their standard 4-point.
Very nice. What are the future plans for the interior?
I just did this, redid the seat setup. I got these new PCI mounts. Previously I only had the driver's side and it was a non-sliding mount. So I went sliding mounts both sides, and then upgraded the passenger seat. Mm-hmm. So really the interior is where I want it to be.
Whoa. So this is your track car?
I have
Can you imagine a show car? Wow.
I have a little bit of OCD when it comes to stuff. So I'm always like cleaning, and I really lucked out that I happened to be redoing my engine bay, or like I mentioned before, when I did the motor, I had the front core support fixed. And since I was going to have them, body shop do that, and the motor was already out, it was just a no-brainer to spray the engine bay, So I kind of lucked out with that. That was never really part of the plan, but it kind of just fell into my lap. And likewise, when I was building this motor, a friend of mine happened to be putting his car together at the same time. And so we collaborated on a lot of stuff. Like, you'll notice a lot of the hardware has been re-zinced, and
that's exactly what I'm paying attention to.
Yeah,
you notice, and I'm like,
and that was,
what me out.
My buddy was doing his bay, and so we basically just pooled all of our hardware together and did it all at the same time. So that was another one of those things that, if I would have done it solo or tried to chip away at it when the engine was in there, it wouldn't have been something I would have bothered doing.
Oh, okay.
But it was like, the engine's out, all the bolts are apart anyway, my buddy's already taken his stuff there. We were going to save money on that, so it was like, why not do it to have such a better result when it's all done? And I'm super happy that I did that at the time, because now, looking back on it, it really helps finish it off well. So like I said before, this is the best it's going to look, because once it starts getting like used and worked on more, it's going to lose a little bit of that polish that it has now.
Right.
But that's fine. That's something that we'll deal with down the road.
Elegant character. So tell us, man, what are we staring at?
It's a Type R motor, B18C, basically just factory. It was rebuilt, but to factory spec. So there's nothing, no aftermarket cams or anything like that on the inside. It's all factory internals. I had most of the parts in here I had on my old motor, which was a B17 that was basically built with the same specs as a Type R, same compression, had Type R cams in it. So when I got this long block, I really just swapped over like the manifold and the cams and all that into this motor. So it's basically just a stock but rebuilt Type R motor. Transmission is a Type R transmission that is in the original transmission for the car, which is the cable transmission, so that was just swapped in. But again, just factory Type R, factory Type R gearing, factory Type R limited slip differential.
That is awesome. So then tell us a little bit more about the radiator, any other component, fuels.
I mean, a lot of it's not anything too fancy. It's a Fluidine radiator that I've had for forever. Fuel, I mean, I have there's a fuel rail on there, but it's really not needed. It's something I just had around and polished it up, and it looks nicer than the factory one. But honestly, it's not, I don't need that for, basically a stock motor. It's got a Type R intake on it. smaller battery and relocated down a little bit. Since this was a GSR, it originally had ABS, AC, power steering, all that is gone now, which I have to admit, I wish I had the AC and the power steering back. The ABS I can do without. But
which makes me wonder, you want a GSR, but let me take away the sunroof, let me take away ABS, let me take away power steering. It's like,
yeah, awesome. It was, again, like when we were younger, that was the thing we were all doing, is just taking all that stuff out. And then you get older and realize, well, 30 pounds isn't that much if I'm not just drenching in sweat, driving up to Buttonwillow. Because that's really, it gets driven to the track, and that was